Passage 7 Start. This is an application filed by the defendants for appointment of commissioner for recording of evidence of the parties. The plaintiff has filed counter affidavit and rejoinder affidavit is also filed by the defendant in rebuttal thereto. Learned counsel for the defendant, in support of this application, has argued that the plaintiff has filed this suit for cancellation of the agreement, damages, and permanent injunction, whereas the defendant, in response, has filed a written statement along with the counterclaim on behalf of the defendant number 1 for specific performance of the agreement. Learned counsel for the defendants submitted that dispute involved a property built at plot number E-92 Bazaar area, Malir, Kent, Karachi, at measuring 240 square yards, which was agreed to be sold by the plaintiff to the defendant for total sale consideration rupees 13,500,000. Learned counsel submitted that out of the aforesaid sale consideration, a sum of Rs 5 million was paid by the defendant number 1, out of which rupees 1 lakh was paid as token amount by a cross check, and rupees 49 lakh was paid by pay order. Learned counsel submitted that the parties went into litigation and this court-wide order dated 7/5/2009 ordered that upon deposit of the balance with the Nazir, the interim order dated 26/3/2009 passed earlier shall continue till disposal of the suit. It is submitted by the learned counsel for the defendant that they have deposited the entire amount of sale consideration of rupees 13 lakh 50,000. However, endeavor the parties have failed to arrive at amicable settlement. Learned counsel for the defendant submitted that it would be fair and in the interest of justice if the evidence is recorded through commission, which would decide the list earlier than expected. It is submitted that since the plaintiff is enjoying the possession of the premises and the defendant number 1 has also deposited the entire sale consideration, it would be unfair and unjust to keep this case lingering on and parties to await for its turn. Learned counsel further submitted that the defendant number 1 is a bona fide purchaser and her valuable rights are being usurped by the plaintiff. In reply to the submission of the learned counsel for the defendant, the learned counsel for the plaintiff submitted that this court has no inherent powers to issue commission for any other purpose as mentioned in order to 26 rule 2 CPC, and the consent of the opposite party is necessary. It is further submitted by the learned counsel for the plaintiff that apart from the above legal objection, the defendant has failed to fulfill their part of agreement within the stipulated period, and as such the under reference does not merit consideration. It is submitted that the parties as matter of right cannot seek appointment of commissioner for recording of evidence, and in view of the apparent default of the defendant, they have no right to claim the discretionary remedy from this court. In rebuttal to the Submission of the learned counsel for the plaintiff. The learned counsel for the defendant submitted that it appears that the plaintiff is afraid of early disposal of the suit, and the serious and strong opposition is a proof that for obvious malafide reasons the plaintiff is opposing the appointment of commissioner. He submitted that plaintiff cannot be allowed to enjoy the possession and part of sale consideration for such period. Full stop and clause.